Mark II Golf GTI Championships is renowned for its friendly atmosphere, and new drivers are welcome at any time. Competing for the first time this weekend is Jason Tingle. Jason, why start the championship so late on?
Well, just due to me wanting to race next year in the championship, wanted to come and see a few tracks, and just get used to the car, ready for the start of next season.
So what's your history?
Starting in karting when I was about 10, for about 12 years. I've had a few years out of racing till yesterday. First time in the car yesterday, went really well. So got about fastest lap in the VAG in the class. So I think things are looking up for the golf race later.
And it's not just Jason Tingle who've joined us this weekend, but also Graham Johnson. Welcome to the championship.
Thank you very much.
What brings you to the Mark II Golf GTIs?
We've owned the car. A colleague of mine has owned the car now for about 2 years, and he's done a couple of races. And in fact, a friend of mine, Mike Robinson, did Spa last time out. So I thought I'd come and give it a go as well. It looks like fun.
And so what were you doing before you joined us?
Well, actually, this year I'm competing in Britcar with the aforementioned Mike Robinson. And before that, I've been doing Ginetta Cup, and before that, Caterhams, and before that, karting even. So I've been racing for 11 years. Well, yesterday, to be honest, was just a practice run because we'd never driven the car in the wet. I'd never started the car. So it was just a chance to get a bit of clear space, mind our own business, and just work out what was happening with the setup. So to be honest with you, I wasn't really racing. I was just staying out of my trouble and trying to find what the car was doing.
And it was torrential, wasn't it? So looking ahead towards today's race, how are you feeling?
Nervous about the start because I don't know how many revs to use, but we'll work that out. And I'm just looking forward to doing a bit of fun racing. It's only 15 minutes. I love the Brands GP circuit. Who knows what might happen, so I'm just going to go out and have some fun.
After a fantastic qualifying session yesterday, James Bark is up in pole position with Jamie Martin and Harry Volkard close behind. The weather is finally gorgeous, which I'm sure the drivers will be really happy about. So let battle commence. Ben, it's over to you.
Trip to the Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit, always the highlight of any driver's season, and this one should be very special indeed. So James Bark and Jamie Martin share the front row of the grid from Harry Volkard and Henry Wright on row 2. The massed ranks of golfs in the Touch of Mojo Mark II Golf GTI Championship about to get underway at Brands Hatch, and away we go. This is a great start from Dan Gibbs from 6th off the line. He gets squeezed by Henry Wright. He's been able to clear Harry Volkard already as they head towards Paddock Hill Bend for the first time of asking. Swooping down through Paddock, and Gibbs though wheel to wheel with Volkard, who looks to fight back. In the meantime though, James Bark converted pole position as James Howlerson has a big spin further back, and also far off the road is Graham Johnson, who I suspect may not go much further than that. He was going off at quite some velocity, and there's a big gravel trap on the exit of Paddock Hill Bend. So the race leaders though already out of Graham Hill Bend and sprinting along the Cooper Straight. First time we're in car with Tom Witts. It's Dan Gibbs who's just in ahead of him. It's just seesawing the wheel a little bit, makes the gear change, and that's why he was seesawing the wheel. He was in two minds whether or not to defend. He decided not to, and in the end loses out as a result. As already James Bark, the race leader, about to arrive into Hawthorne. Then it's the gap back to Jamie Martin, and then it's Henry Wright in 3rd. Harry Volkard, number 6, there he is in 4th position. Then we've got Dan Gibbs. Next long in car with Gibbs on the brakes into Westfield. You turn into the right-hander, you just about exit it, and then the road just plummets away from you. This driver's head through Dingle Dell before climbing up over the crest into Sheen, running over the nice flat curbs at Sheen. Got to be very careful not to run out to the edge of the road or take advantage of the camber left-hander and Sterling. That's what Dan Gibbs does. He sets up a pursuit of Henry Wright and Harry Volkard, who are busy engaging battle. Replay of the start then, and it was really a wrenching getaway away from Volkard. Dan Gibbs tried to take advantage of a space that suddenly disappeared, and then, credit to him, he gave probably more room than he needed to Volkard through Paddock Hill Bend. And that is why he lost out further back. James Howlerson and Graham Johnson tangled. Howlerson went off to the right. It was Graham Johnson who got fired off to the left and retirement. Meanwhile, at the head of the field, James Bark and Jamie Martin have rather broken clear of the Henry Wright and Harry Volkard battle. It's right to the inside. Volkard to the outside, trying to pick his way through. Because the cars in this championship are so evenly matched in terms of what you can do, in terms of tweaking the car, in terms of mechanical adjustments, it's so small the adjustments that can be made, and therefore it really all comes down to driver ability. Just those tiny tweaks you can maybe get in terms of suspension setting, or maybe just to take advantage of the slipstream. That's really how you're able to find your way through. And as a result of that, it makes overtaking not the work of a moment. So Harry Volkard, he's got the pace. Meanwhile, Tom Witts gets spun, or sees rather the car in front being spun around. It's Dan Gibbs who was rotated, and Tom Witts very much in the thick of that. Closes on the car in front and actually loses a place as a result. The car that was the miscreant then fires itself off into gravel trap. Simon Gustafsson. So, well, I guess there is some sort of karma in all of that. Simon Gustafsson, he eliminated Dan Gibbs from the fray in one corner. The next, he disappears into the gravel trap at Clearways. In the meantime, the fight for third and fourth continues. This is good going from Henry Wright to, if anything, slightly builds his advantage over Harry Volkard. It's gone out to a car length or so further back. Andrew Aldridge, have a replay. Very much in the thick of the action. He gets squeezed off the road. That is immensely frustrating for Andrew Aldridge. It was Josh Johnson who pushed him out wide. Aldridge thumps the tyre barrier. Should be able to not rejoin the race, certainly be out later in the weekend, because he doesn't appear to have had too severe a hit. Meantime, Tom Witts has finally got himself into a little bit of clear air. How long that will continue for, I don't know, as there's contact overhead and a car has gone around. Try and find out who that is momentarily, and I suspect that was Henry Wright and Harry Volkard who came together. There is Volkard trailing damage on the car, and Henry Wright has not come through. This is a race of fluctuating fortunes. And there is our Class 1 leader, number 88 car. That is Adrian Ward. So Adrian Ward going very strongly, doing battle with Paul Cowland, in fact, full lead the class, but Cowland forced out wide, and that decisively gives Adrian Ward leading Class 1, which of course is for the 8-valve cars. The Class 2 cars in front of the field, they run with 16 valves, and therefore a little bit faster in straight line. Mark Hodder also very much in the mix. So really, wherever you look, great battles going on. Tim Cox also towards the fore. Have a replay of Harry Volkard looking to recover up through the field. This is Jason Tingle, who he is looking to find a way past. He's about to do that into Surtees, gains the position. So Henry Wright, fortunately a retiree, out at Westfield. Harry Volkard back in the action. He's looking to move up, gain the place, and Simon Thompson is Adrian Ward. So Class 1, this battle is really ferocious. The driver who's just been able to make the escape through for the moment is Tim Cox, who has raced his way through this group. He's just got a little bit of daylight over, first of all, Simon Thompson, then Adrian Ward, who has lost his front bumper. That might make things a little bit easier for Adrian Ward as he looks to regain that ground, move up to the lead of the class. As in the meantime, in the lead of the race, it's Jamie Martin who's moved clear now of James Bark. So it's Jamie Martin leads the way, pretty deep into the race now. So James Bark running out of laps, which to try and pick his way back past Jamie Martin, but he might do so to Paddock Hill Bend. Martin leaves a gap to the inside, James Bark goes for it, launches to the inside, two wheels over the curbs. He runs out a little bit wide though, so Jamie Martin looks to fight back to the inside line into Druids. James Bark gives Martin racing room on the way in, a little bit of contact. Martin pushes Bark out very, very wide. Well, there might be a discussion to be held about that later on, because whilst James Bark did turn in on Jamie Martin, he then got pushed very, very wide on the extra Druids. With Stanley, it means that Jamie Martin now leads the race. He's pulling clear of James Bark. Let's have another look at this. So James Bark to the outside, Jamie Martin to the inside, draws alongside. James Bark turns into the corner. He still tries to give Martin racing room, then make contact again on the exit. And they were both fighting for the lead. One of those things you could arguably say. They both probably gave each other a little bit less space than they really ought to. So it means that Jamie Martin leads the way and is charging towards the checker flag. In the meantime, though, Jason Tingle in pursuit of Harry Volkard and Tom Witts. This is the fight ongoing for the final spot on the roster, and Harry Volkard looking to get himself back into a podium position. He very, very nearly got there earlier on, battling with Henry Wright, but Tom Witts has driven a very steady race here and is only a couple of corners from the checker flag. In the meantime, Alex Knuckle busy doing battle with Jake Johnson. Dan Gibbs recovering up through the field as well. He's got Chris Skip swarming all over his tail as they work through Sheen. As meanwhile, through Clark Curve, final time of asking, already through and across the line to take the win is Jamie Martin. James Marker's claim second, but who is going to be third? And it looks like it is going to be Tom Witts, who completes the rostrum just from Harry Volkard and Jason Tingle. There is Jamie Martin receiving the acclaim of the crowd. So a solid drive from Martin, another win for the reigning champion in the Touch of Mojo Mark II Golf GTI Championship. Let's have a look then at the final classification. So victory for Martin, second place James Bark, Tom Witts completes the podium. It's Alex Nuttall who wins Class 1 from Adrian Ward and Tim Cox. So super drive there from Alex Nuttall.
Jamie Martin!
Yes!
Celebration from Martin as he climbs onto the top step of the rostrum, receives the trophy with champagne from Joe East.
Give a cheer at top 3.
No, I mean, it was an important race, and yeah, we were fighting a little bit harder than usual. I really enjoyed it though. I mean, he's really come on. The car was fantastic, and thoroughly enjoyed that race.
Alex Nuttall, first win of the year. You must be chuffed.
Yeah, we're absolutely thrilled. I mean, it's only our third race of the year, so to get the win, it just feels really good.
And you're a newbie in the championship as well, aren't you?
Yeah, still on the novice cross, so that'll be coming off after this weekend now.
So leaving Brands Hatch, this is how the championship looks, with Andrew Aldridge leading Class 1, 118 points, so some way clear of Simon Tomlinson, and that leaves him second in the overall championship, standing 6 points adrift. Jamie Martin, who leads Class 2, Harry Volkard 10 back.
Well, that's it from both the Super Pro VAG Trophy and the Touch of Mojo Mark II Golf GTI Championships here at the Lotus Festival in Brands Hatch. And what a weekend it's been. Really close, really exciting racing. And there really is everything to play for in both championships. More from them in 2 months' time at Snetterton, and more from us very soon.